Wife and I cut our teeth on parenthood with the first child, Chinelo. Naturally, we made many blunders, but Chinelo was up to it. She taught us at the age of 4 or 3 or thereabouts, she began to reflect back to us her experience of the world. One day, she put it in words. I'm not black. I am brown. We sat up and began to pay attention. The first place our mind went was her nursery school, run by a bunch of experienced women. But inquiries to the school board returned only assurances. I continued sniffling around, which led me in the end to those expensive, colorful children's books imported from Europe and displayed seductively at the better supermarkets of Lagos. Many parents, like me, who have never read the children's book in their own childhood, saw a chance to give it to their children as the blessing of the modern civilization, which they never had, and grabbed it. But when I saw in the many of the books, not civilization, but condensation and even offensiveness. Here, retold in my own words, is the mean story behind the glamorous covers of the children's books. A white boy playing with his kite in a beautiful open space on a clear summer day. In the background are lovely houses and gardens and tree-lined avenues. The wind is good, and the little boy's kite rises higher and higher and higher. It flies so high, in the end it gets caught up under the tail of an airplane, which just so happens to be passing overhead at that very moment. Trailing the kite, the airplane flies on the past cities and oceans and deserts. Finally, flying over the forest jungle, we see wild animals in the forest. We see little round huts in a clearing, an African village. For some reason, the kite untangles itself at that point and begins to fall on the airplane as the airplane goes on its way. The kite falls and finally comes to rest at the top of a coconut tree. A little black boy climbing to the top of the tree picks up a coconut and beholds a strange and terrifying object sitting on the top of the tree. He utters a piercing cry and literally falls off the tree. His parents and the neighbors rush at the scene and discuss the apparition with great fear and trembling. In the end, they send for the village witch doctor, who appears in his feathers and encounters of drummers. He offers sacrifices and prayers, and then his boldest man up to the tree and bring down the object, which he does with the appropriate reverence. The witch doctor leads the village to the procession of the coconut tree to the village shrine, where the supernatural object is deposited and where it is worshipped to this day. That was dramatic, of many important, beautifully packaged, but the demeaning greetings available to our children's, perhaps even given them as birthday presents by their parents. So it was that when my friend, the poet Christopher Okebo, presenting Cambridge University Press in Nigeria at the time, called me and said that I should write him a children's book for his company. I had no difficulty seeing the need and the urgency, so I wrote Chike the River, dedicated to Chinelo and my nephews and nieces.